What's up, guys? This is my third and final national championship match. I'm not going to tell you guys how it goes, but I'll tell you a little bit about my opponent. My opponent's name is Greg Hagan. I believe he is a two-time state finalist, one-time state champ out of Iowa. He's a preseason national champion. He wrestled at the University of Indiana for, I think, a season or two before transferring to Grandview University, where he would eventually go on to be NAIA National Champion. As most of you guys know, by the time that this match has already happened, I'm a two-time NAIA National Champion. Greg is a Division I transfer. He is undefeated. I believe he's 25-0 going into this match. I am 16-0 going into this match. This is my last ever college wrestling match. I've not posted this yet, so I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Sadly, I couldn't find the ESPN version. I did my best. So we went with what we had. A lot of the match, you might think, oh man, nothing's happening. But really, it's just a lot of hand fighting. It's a lot of pacing, and it's a lot of making little smart decisions. So if you're like newer to the takedown game, especially if you don't know much about folk style wrestling, there's going to be a lot more scrambling, even than there may be in jiu-jitsu. And the risk of scrambling is a lot worse because there's pins and there's ways to give up points, whether that's back points or the NDS rule, etc. I knew that Greg was a really good scrambler. When people get on his legs, he was very good at spladles, he was very good at doing the switch, etc., etc. I also knew he was very good on top, so I had to play my game around being outside of space, and when I was ready to get in and do an attack, I had to be extremely calculated, and I needed to make sure that my hand fighting was on point. Speaking of which, if you click the button up here, you can check out my Dominate the Hand Fight instructional, where I teach you guys about 2 hours worth of basic hand fighting technique to help you get started and help you become pretty efficient on the feet. Anyways, guys, we're going to get into this match. I really enjoyed this match. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Here we go. All right, guys. So unlike my former match review videos, I'm actually going to just talk over this one a little bit. I'm not going to give it like a full breakdown and everything, but we're just going to talk through it. So again, like I said, Greg, really good scrambling, really good position. When me and my coach talked about how to really approach this match, it was stay on the outside and do not get caught up in his hand fighting. He actually had really heavy hands, but I did a really decent job of clearing the hands every time he would touch me. Got in low on the leg. I isolated the knee, but he draped over top and basically got us into this waterfall position. I was trying to collect his second ankle so I could step over it. But, I mean, he was really tall, flexible, and honestly just had a weird body type. So it was actually really difficult. Trying to reach back, trying to catch it. He does a little Winn-Dixie. Posting him up, keeping my chest up. Head highest wins here in the scramble. So my goal is to keep my head high, try to pull my leg out. And, of course, the ref calls it a stalemate. And now we're getting back to the middle. He gets heavy on the head. I feel like that leg is still open here. Here's a good little underhook. I'm going to shoot for a little dump here. So fireman's carry to a dump. I pop out the back. That wasn't ideal. I know some people would probably, I've heard people say that, like, it wasn't ideal. Like, I didn't plan to do the dump like that. It's just I couldn't keep his arm. He does a little funk here, gets out in front, and gets a front headlock. We're back up. It's a really good idea when you feel like I do any type of Granby switch or changeover. Be careful holding onto them too tightly, especially in a wrestling match, because you just might get pinned. He's got a good underhook here. I'm just pilling at the head, pulling down. And this guy, of all my 3 national title matches, this guy is probably the one who's literally the most similar to me. I mean, clearly, if you look at our body types, we look very similar. I'm a little bit bigger than he is, actually, funny enough. This also happens to be the first time I was bigger than any of my opponents in the national finals. But as far as athleticism, speed, we match each other pretty well. Notice I continue to roll the wrist. It's a habit you'll see me do in my jiu-jitsu matches and my wrestling matches. I really don't try to let people hang on to collar ties. Over ties, I don't care as much because it opens up my duck unders. But for the most part, I would prefer to keep his collar ties off. Some things I could have done better here. I mean, it's been almost 3 years since this match happened. Is I could have done a lot more small pulls on his head when I had a collar tie. I felt like sometimes I was just hanging there, where really that right and left hand could have been moving. Fake into an ankle pick, but his legs were pretty far back. That's the first period. He chooses bottom. Again, this dude is super funky. And if you guys don't know what that means, it means he's really good at creating scrambles and putting people on their back. So my job here is do not overcommit. I get hit with the caution. But yeah, my job here is do not overcommit. Just breathe, be relaxed, dance, feel good. This is my last wrestling match ever here. I was very confident I was going to win, but obviously you don't really know. But it's stay out of his game. Get where I'm good and stay out of where he's good. So we're going to try to chip off at least one takedown each period. Each period is 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 2 minutes in an overtime if possible, or if needed, rather. Again, that left hand is creating an extension, so his collar tie can't be heavy. Looking to clear. Shooting kind of a single leg there. Not exactly sure what I was going for there. Again, rolling this wrist. You guys are going to notice that I'm going to catch him reaching because he keeps putting that left hand on me. Right here, 1, 2, boom. Big duck under. Here I get on top, score my second 2 of the match. That's 2 takedowns total in the match. 1 takedown in the first, 1 takedown in the second. He does a rolling Granby. I don't follow him. Foot sweep or Dayashi, and then I jump over top and we're out of bounds. He didn't mean anything by this. I mean, we were a little fired up, so he pushed me out. But I mean, some people thought I was mad about it, but it was just like whatever. Like I get it. It happens. We were national finals. We're heated up. We both want to be champions, and we both have become champions at one point or another. So it makes sense. I get on top. Again, the thing is I don't want to put too much weight forward on this guy. I just know that he's super funky. So it's like get a couple seconds of riding time, cut him loose. We're not going to force anything. My best position is neutral as far as it comes to wrestling. So I just want to be there. If I know this guy's a really good and funky dude, I'm going to stay neutral. Again, trying to clear ties. I'll say it over and over again, but I could have done a little bit better of a job of doing little pulls on his head. But I do those little big ones from that over tie. I don't do that as much anymore because I really find it opens you up for high crouches against better guys. But yeah, that little over tie snap, it's not horrible. Not sure how much time is left on the clock, but for sure I'm up, I believe 4-2 at this point. And I'm kind of just filling it out. At this point, guys, you might say, man, there's not a lot going on here, but he has to come to me. There's no stall calls. This is the 3rd period. They're asking, what do I want, top, bottom, or neutral? Again, I choose neutral because it's just where I'm best. And Greg's really good on top and really good on bottom. So it was just like, let's go where I'm best. Kind of take the ego out of it. As you can see, like I'm dancing, moving, trying to move my feet, trying to dance, trying to be loose. I want to let him come to me now. There's only 2 minutes left, and if I get through this 2 minutes, I will get my 3rd national title. And I don't have any stall calls. I don't have to force anything here. Again, he's pulling on heavy. You can't really see it from the video, but his hands are very heavy. This is a great way to clear an underhook. If you guys didn't see what I did, I posted on the hip, and I start to circle and get head position. Again, same thing. Posting on the hip, boom, I cleared and pulled. See, that was good right there. We clear the tie, then we pull. Again, wrist snap. I'm heavy on his head. Gonna roll the wrist to my right shoulder. Okay, got it off. Got my inside tie with my left hand, pulling on the head. Notice that both of us are doing. Greg is doing a really great job too. Like we're both clearing ties and then following up with some type of pull, right? So we clear one tie and then we pull. The same thing. We're a little bit ear to ear here. Doing a little bit of finger fighting right here. Again, boom, a little pump fake. Just need to get the head a little bit low. At this point, I know time is short. I'm just kind of reaching for things, make sure I don't get hit with stalling. Again, maybe not the best strategy, but hey, it helped me win, right? He's trying to dig for underhooks. I'm staying out of it. I know he has a really good inside trip, so I don't want to let him have an underhook or overhook. I'm just staying on him. I got his butt to the back of the line. You guys can see that line in the back. My butt's to the center, so I'm really not going to get hit for stalling here. I'm pushing the pace forward. I'm going to be snapping and clearing. See the clock. He shoots a sloppy shot. Immediately, I get that high angle go behind, and I secure my 2. I am up now 6-3. He rolls again. Or sorry, I'm up now 6-3. that's it. Just won my 3rd national title, and yeah, finishing it off there.
All right, guys, that was it. That was my 3rd national title match. That was basically the full video. Like I said, I believe there were 3 takedowns. There was 1 pretty crazy sequence there, and it was fun. One of the things I wanted to point out is one of the takedowns I hit was kind of a fireman's carry to a dump, but you guys could see like I slipped and I had to make my adjustment. This is the real thing about wrestling technique, even jiu-jitsu technique if you just do jiu-jitsu. Picture perfect in that move, I would have dumped, put him to his back and pinned him. I didn't. I shot in, leg slipped, arm slipped. I had to come out the back door and ended up getting 2. Same thing, you have to follow up. I hit that duck under to that trip and followed. And then eventually, yeah, at the end, I did a high angle go behind, which is probably the #1 takedown in college wrestling or wrestling in general. And I won my last national title. I'm super grateful for you guys for watching this. This match means the world to me. And if you'd like to learn a little bit of wrestling, you can click right up here and check out my Dominate the Hand Fight instructional like I talked about earlier, or you can check out one of my many wrestling instructionals or ebook at BrandonReed3x.com. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you next time.